Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. It's Frugalistablog here, and I am going to cover for you a few serum foundations that I have in my collection and that I thought, you know what, let's focus on these because I feel like, I don't know if it's a trend or I just feel like this is what I've been gravitating towards lately. And hello, if you're new here, welcome. I hope you subscribe. Hey, YouTube has new analytics and it says that 65% of you that are watching this week are not subscribed or something like that. I don't know. Anyway, and that only 15% of you are clicking that bell. So do me a favor, subscribe, do yourself a favor, click that notification bell. It tells you when I post. Basically it just pops up in your on your phone, just says video, you know, little red YouTube thing. I don't know. Yeah, free channels I subscribe to. Come on guys, do us a favor. All right, so if you think I'm kind of glowing, it's because I'm wearing a serum foundation and highlighter and a whole bunch of other stuff too, but you know the drill. So serum foundations I feel are quite good for those of us over 40 or mature skins. I think if you want something that has a little more skincare, some have skincare claims, you know, and maybe if you're dry skin, maybe if you like a lighter formula that's more sheer. So there's a number of reasons. It's very much an aesthetic, like how it wears, how it feels when you're applying it. Some apply better with fingers versus brush, etc. So I've got some little video inserts of just applying each of them on one side of my face so you can see the difference. Hopefully you can see kind of the variation in coverage, but I will explain that for you. And I also have some a variety in price points, so yay. Anyway, let's get into this. So to begin, let's start with the cheapest, the Shop Miss A AOA Studio Serum Liquid Foundation. This is called Buildable Satin Foundation is the official term, but because it's very liquidy, it comes with a dropper. I feel like this is a serum foundation. It doesn't have as many skincare claims as maybe some of the others we'll talk about, but it's still pretty serum-y. I want to say for the price and what you get, this is definitely one of my favorites. This is one of my favorite foundations regardless of what we're working with. It's very oily. You can feel the oil in it. And I used a lot. That is something else I've noticed with serum foundations is a little goes a long way. It is very deceptive. You think, oh, the product's runny. It's just, I'm gonna have to use a bunch to make it work. No. It feels like it just will blend forever on the skin. And this one I liked because it has a good, it has coverage, it feels comfortable, it's fragrance free, it's cruelty free, it's very affordable, the coverage builds and then it feels kind of dewy, very luminous on the skin. I don't powder down too much with these. That could be something that some folks is a deterrent because it feels like you really have to powder over this if you want that kind of, you know, yeah, might not be for you if you're looking for something matte, because they do, I think, leave a very shiny finish on the skin. Also drugstore, the Joah Truly Yours Foundation Drop. This is very runny and liquidy as well. I think this retails for over $10, but less than $15. What I like about this is, this one actually kind of has a more powder down finish. You can feel it. When I am rubbing it in with my fingers, you can really feel some of the it's got like a liquid powder feel to it, and it just kind of has a dry satin finish, which is literally what it's called. But it's very nice, good coverage. Again, we're talking like, here, let's just do a little fun. Okay, we got the Joah. One thing I notice about the way my behavior with these products is I'm very bad at putting the lids back on. In fact, I went in when I was going through my drawer to pull them all out. One was in there from months ago and it was still open, and I'm like, oh my God. Okay, so did I say, is this the Joah? And this is the Shot Massé. The Shot Massé, and the reason I spread them on my fingers in the demonstration so that you could really see, the Shot Massé kind of blends in, and then this one has a little more pigmentation to it, like a little more, see how it kind of has that powdery? I don't know if you can see it, but I feel it. Like I feel like there's more pigment, whereas this one is very, very liquidy, but both deceptively flawless. Something that kind of hit this scene this spring is the Ilia Serum Skin Tint, and this is SPF 40. There's one more that has an SPF in it, but I would not recommend relying on your foundation with an SPF in it for your full SPF coverage, because you need about like a teaspoon. I mean, you need a lot of sunscreen. You know, when you look at the websites that talk about it and your dermatologist, what they say, you need like a teaspoon or half a teaspoon, something like that, right? And you know, you want to cover the whole face and your ears and your neck. You are not going to want a teaspoon of this. So it's nice to get SPF in it as just a backup, just like as a little extra, but I wouldn't rely on it. What I have found with this product, one, this is shade 3. It's too light for me. Even in winter, I just don't like the white cast it gives me. Because for me, my redness and pigmentation, I need just a bump up more of color, just a little bit of a shade that blends down the red and the brown, the freckles and the rosacea. Okay, now there's a lot of good stuff about this though. It has amazing ingredients and it plays well with others. So I think it's a great mixer product. Be sure you look though at your, I think an oil works best with oil versus oil working with other water products. Some people think it has a smell. I don't think so. So it is unscented, you know, like it's not fragrance like a Chanel product. So it's a little pricey, but it's beautiful. And it has a bit of a tacky, see the Joah dried down, this one tacky. You know, you'd want to put, or you can leave it, but probably a lot of folks would powder. And then we have The Ordinary. Do you guys remember the Serum foundation from The Ordinary? I feel like when I say, do you remember? Because when it first came out a few years ago, and I think Wayne Goss reviewed it, and I think The Ordinary was really hyping it up, and it's like $6, and it was so exciting, and then people were like, this is it? And I think what happened was people just were using it in kind of a YouTuber capacity versus what it was intended. And it's kind of like the MAC Face and Body tint. It's very watery. It definitely separates, you know, you can see kind of like all the pigment particles on the bottom and the liquid on the top. And I have shade 2.0, and I think these do run light as well. I would say this is medium coverage, and you can definitely build it. There is a coverage foundation formula in this, looks identical. It's just got a little more pigment to it. But when I did my review on this product, my mistake was trying to blend it in with a sponge, trying to blend it in with a brush, kind of do the influencer style of application. It wants your fingers. It wants to be blend in with the warmth and texture of your fingers, and then you really get the best finish. And it also has like a little bit of a powdery, a little bit of a softness to it. It's not shiny. It's really nice, really affordable, fragrance free. So then e.l.f. makes a serum foundation. This is probably one of the first ever. Like this has been around a while. And I think I used to always see it on the shelves, but now I think they're saving shelf space for other stuff. I don't know. And I don't know the shade range. I don't know if they've added more shades, because the old e.l.f. used to always just have like 4 shades. And now they have more. So foundation serum, this also has an SPF, it's 25. Again, don't rely on it for your entire sunscreen. It's just a nice backup. I would say that this, of all the ones I'm talking about today, really comes across as like a tinted moisturizer. It is thin and watery, not as watery as some of the others, but when you blend, oh my God, that right there is a burn. I apologize for, when you blend it out, it's not a lot of coverage, has a nice satin finish to it, but it's kind of like not a lot, you know, it's just minimal. So if you're really into like, oh, I want to get just a sheer foundation, you know, and just kind of play with it for the summer, this could be it. So it's good. This formula, this version of it is fragrance free. Hopefully they have not added fragrance since, you know, the years ago I bought it. Okay, and the last one, I've talked about this a lot on my channel. It's COSSIS, it's at Sephora. This is considered an oil foundation, not labeled as a serum foundation, but the consistency is that of the ones we've talked about today. And it has such a unique finish and personality to it, because you can really build this up and it can be like a serious foundation, or you can just kind of use it for a little bit of its pigment and oil properties and just like let it be more casual on the skin and mixed with other products. And yeah, so it's kind of fun that way. I have shade 3. This shade range is very different than the Ilia, because 3 for me is too dark in winter, but perfect in summer, whereas 3 in Ilia was just too light across the board. So there you go. So you get an ounce. It's in a it's very handy, so this is great for travel. It has a shaker bead in there, which you want to shake. This separates. You want to get the oil and the pigments really mixed up, otherwise you'll see it on the skin kind of swirly, and you won't like its performance. So see, it's very, what I do is, in the winter, I wore this and I mix it with other foundations, and I would put it, especially when we would just have some, especially in the mountains, when it got just so dry, my face felt so parched, I would mix this with like my Wander Beauty foundation, or I would put this on first with fingers and then kind of play different areas with coverage with like Laura Mercier or some other foundation. It sinks into the skin and it has quite a bit of coverage. It's very oily. It is, but the pigmentation kind of just really, you know, it doesn't disappear. So it's fun because you can really play along with the coverage. It has, because it's an oil, you can feel it. And so if that isn't your thing and you want to powder it down, totally get it. You can even, as an oily skin, you know, any of these foundations are probably something you want to work more on what primer you're using versus how much powder, because you can keep powdering these all day long. But if you put, you know what Robert Welsh says, if you put on the right primer so that it stops the oil of your own skin from coming through to meet the oil of the product, then you know, you've solved your problem versus just trying to pack on powder, because then you might think, oh, look, this is cakey. And it's only just because you've had layer and layer upon foundation, oil, powder, oil, powder, oil, powder, oil, powder, right? Okay. So yeah, so I'm a fan of this. COSSIS, I mean, you know, everyone's just loving it. Their concealer is lovely and stuff. I do hope they come out with a powder. I want to see what they do because they have so much, everything is oil centric and ingredient, and I want to see. I have not, what I have not done is the Ilia on the reviews for Sephora. Customers say that the translucent powder with Ilia is beautiful over this. So I think I need to do the serum, primer, this, and then the powder just to see how it works. Okay, I will list everything below. Let me know if you have any questions, you know, in terms of if you couldn't see the finish or the coverage or something like that in my little demo, if I missed something. And hopefully everything's available on their websites. What else? Thank you so much for watching. I hope you subscribe. I hope you hit that thumbs up, leave a comment, all that good stuff. I hope you're well, and I'll see you next time. Bye.